Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're on Bat Fridays here, as we're covering Detective Comics 70, The Man Who Could Read Brains. A story I'm going to come down recommending, but with like a million little caveats to the story. It's kind of a mess and doesn't fully work in the final half of the story, but it's still an enjoyable read. The story sees Carlo, who's one of those stage magicians, like Dinner and a Show. He does the old Carney trick, where his assistant holds up an object while Carlo is blindfolded, and Carlo has to tell us what the object is, which of course is told by the assistant by the words they use. Batman actually fully explains this, which I didn't know this was very well-known knowledge in the 1940s. And you gotta be quiet, Batman, the walls have ears. The magicians will kill you for that. But after an accident where lightning takes out the hospital's generator for a while, the surgeon accidentally cuts something or does something in the head of Carlo. The hands of destiny, as the narration says, by showing us what looks like the hands of death. I think those are two different things. I don't think destiny is also a skeleton. Makes him able to read minds. And with this, he starts committing crimes. Well, first he starts low by cheating at card games and making money that way. Then he starts committing crimes, which he gets away with because he can read people's minds. Okay. I'm going to go along with this. I accept this concept. But just because he can read minds and knows where you're going to throw the next punch doesn't make him able to dodge said punch. You kind of need training for that. But this is how he's getting away from Batman and being particularly troublesome. The other problem is once he does confront Batman, he now knows Bruce's secret and will reveal it to the world if he challenges him. This is actually the first half of the story. So we are doing what I've always demanded they do in structure, mainly when it comes to Superman and mobster stories, but to set up the threat for half the story, and then let's just go with defeating the threat for the other half. Also, when he does reveal this, Robin, who has some really great lines in this comic, says, well, I'll be the Penguin's shadow, which I am going to start using in everyday conversation. I want this to become an actual idiom. So please, use it in everyday conversation. Well, I'll be the Penguin's shadow. It's a good line. It's a good line. It's maybe a great line. So Batman now has fear of challenging him, and he's actively courting him to do it by telling him where his next crime is. The next crime is what the climax of the story is. He's running around this old, rich, eccentric millionaire's house who has a bunch of booby traps and other fun little things to go about, where the problem does start to catch up to him that Batman is still too fast and well trained, that even though he can read his mind beforehand, he can't dodge things. But he also knows where the traps are, including one of those walls are coming in to crush Batman traps. Ooh. Figures out a way through that. There's actually quite a bit of traps in the story, and luckily Batman brought his diamond-encrusted batarang. Well, they say it's a badge, but still, if he only took it because he's going to need to cut through glass later. You would think Batman would just straight up have a glass cutter. I mean, later Batman would. The problem with this part of the story is it just kind of keeps going on, and it feels like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey at the end, where they keep trying to outdo each other with, oh yeah, we're going to do this when we go back in time. Well, I'm going to do this. It feels like anytime Batman gets the advantage or turns the tables on him, he has an extra bit. Okay, I can read where you're going to attack me. Oh yeah, I'm too fast for you. Oh yeah, I have traps. Oh yeah, I have diamonds in my batarang. Oh yeah, well, I've dumped Robin in the water. See, it's like one-upping each other. It feels like a game of children just trying to outdo one another until it finally becomes too much. And we deal with the other problem I have, which is the trope of the secret identity, which always gets fixed very tightly and neatly at the end of the story, to the point that it's really not much of an actual threat. So yeah, Carlo gets shot by the old millionaire eccentric because Batman's not going to do it. And he tries to write Batman's name in the beach, but the waves come and take away the name Bruce Wayne before anyone sees it, because it's not an actual problem. They're not going to go through with it. I mean, it probably would work if they did it much less than they do at this time, but they do it quite a bit, especially to Superman. And there's also this weird, dangling thread that involves how Batman knew Robin's life was in danger without it being revealed to him. And I'm like, can he read minds? No, he just read his lips. This gets revealed at the very end of the comic, and it seems just so anticlimactic to what they tried to make some sort of mystery. Like I said, the second half of the story is kind of a mess. It's enjoyable because Carlo does manage to be a threat, but it probably should have been a little shorter so they didn't have to keep trying to outdo one another. But I'll give Carlo that. He did manage to be an actual threat for the entire story. Unfortunately, he's now dead, which is why no one knows of Carlo, the man who could read minds. Okay, that is it for that story. I just said the title. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when new videos up. I do this Monday through Friday. But Mondays and Thursdays, I cover a Superman story in either Action Comics or Superman. Please join us next time, same bat day, same comic book channel. Have a great day. And remember to say, well, I'll be the Penguin Shadow.